Okay.
We're on record.
Thank you. Okay, well, welcome again, everybody. Thanks for attending, and we're really excited to talk about this trip for next May. And what I'll probably do is step back there because I'm going to just let this do the visuals, and it's just going to be dialogue. We'll save the questions and answers for the end if we can, but if something comes up and you want to comment on something, please do feel free. So again, I mentioned that we're going to talk about the itinerary. I want to talk about welcome aboard, my cruise, and cruise itinerary, of course, the optional excursions, pre and post extensions, flight planning. We are a full service travel agency if you need assistance with any of that. Our group insurance policy that we're going to screen and deal on, and the questions and answers at the end. So without further delay, we'll go right into it. And it works. So the Royal Clipper, as you already know, she was officially recognized by the Guinness World Book of Records in 2001 as the largest square rigger in service, still to this day. But she will be possibly might have a bigger sister coming out someday, we hope. So there's 277 passengers aboard. Right now, our group has 34 guests on it, so we're going to have presence. Anyway, she's a beautiful ship, and there's only 3 in the fleet. She has 2 little sisters, the Star Flyer and the Star Clipper, and those are about 160 passengers. So we will be sailing from Civitavecchia, Rome, which is about 45 minutes to an hour outside of Rome. She sails at 10 o'clock at night. I'll go over the timing, so you know I have the timing schedule I can share with you by email. So from Rome, we go directly to Corsica, to Bonifacio, and then the next one is down to Alghero, and then up to Ajaccio, Calvi. Santa Margarita is also Portofino, Italy. We stop in Monaco and then end in Cannes. The one thing, I imagine you've all cruised before, one thing you'll notice on this itinerary is there are no days at sea. Every day we're in Port of Call, which is pretty unusual and pretty fantastic, actually. So this is a great itinerary. Yeah. So as I mentioned, here are the times. We start boarding in Rome in Civitavecchia port around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And then we sail at 10. We'll already be have dinner on board for it and everything. I'll talk more about that coming from Rome and the airports, etc. The next day we're in Bonifacio, Corsica, from 12 noon to 11 p.m. So we've got a full day. It's one of the most beautiful ports, hands down. It's a fantastic area on the very southern tip of Corsica. We call it the Dream Bays. A lot of natural harbors. It's a yacht heaven there. A yacht even. Then we're going to go up to Alghero, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Full day in Alghero. Poitiers Beach is a beach. That's exactly what it is. It's a beach morning, 8 to 1, and then head up to Ajaccio, and then the rest of the day and evening there. And then on May 18th, Calvi from 9 to 6, which is a great long time there because we've got some great tours. On the 19th, we do Santa Margarita, Italy, which is also Portofino, and I'll talk more about that. And we're there 11 to 6. The days that we leave at like 6, it's before sunset, so it's fantastic. And I'll talk more about that as we get to there, to be able to see the ship sailing under full sail. Then we spend a full day in Monaco. Poitiers is a harbor outside of the main port of Monaco. It's not the main harbor. We've got a smaller harbor. You'll see that in the photo. And then on the last day, we end in Cannes at 8 a.m. Now, I want to point out that all of these are tender, except for Rome. She's in dock and board, okay? Every place else, except for possibly Santa Margarita, it is a tender, meaning that you access the ship and the shore via the smaller tenders, and they travel back and forth between the ship and the shore all day long while they're in that location. Please note ports and times in ports are subject to change. It is a sailing vessel, weather conditions permitting. If the winds are not cooperating, then we'll move them over and make sure that you can schedule to get it to port so you can enjoy the ports. So the first place that you're going to land is going to be in Fiumicino Airport in Rome. And how many people have been to Rome? Yeah, I figured pretty much a lot. It's the eternal city, what can I say? We'll talk more about extensions. I highly recommend coming in a couple of days early for a number of reasons. There's a lot of delays. It's an overnight flight from the States, and who knows, with the airlines, it's been crazy lately. So we're going to put together a suggested 3-night stay prior. Our hotels, we're going to get some quotes. And they'll be in the historical center, located near the Trevi Fountain or the Spanish Steps, over by the Pantheon. We suggest visiting ancient Rome, which is, of course, the Roman Forum and the Colosseum. The Vatican City, if you haven't been. We probably won't be including that in a regular extension because so many people have probably already done that. But everything we can do is customized. But we do want to do a full day at Pompeii and Amalfi. Anybody else been down there? I think somebody wanted to do that. Yeah, that's right, Jim. And then I highly recommend, if you like food, you like Italian food, to do the Trastevere food tour, and we'll talk more about that later on. So anyway, Rome, endless things to do. And then after we leave that evening, we're going to go to Bonifacio. So we're going to just go through the itinerary. Sheer limestone cliffs, they say it all. It is just a remarkable setting and incredible history. Again, for Corsica, I think, belonged to Italy for about 600-700 years, and then France took it over after a small stint with Britain in the 18th centuries. But it's its own country. Let's just put it that way. Of course, Corsicans consider it their own country. They actually have their own language, but now pretty much they all speak French. We're there for most of the day here. So one of the things that we highly recommend to do is there's this little hop on, hop off train. It's like €7. And use that to get up to the top. Down at the bottom, there's awesome boutiques and everything, and shops, restaurants for lunch. You can also stay on board the ship for any of the meals as well. So our recommended short excursion here is Sardinia by coach. It's 4.5 hours. And the rates can change, €64 per person. The currency on board is euros. The electric currency on board is 220 European bucks. So might as well just throw that out while we're here. We'll talk more about that.
220 euros.
The 220 volts.
Oh, volts.
The volts, yeah. Instead of 110, so you'll need the adapters, exactly. Or yeah, I have a lot of them too. Power strips. But anyway, very, very tight corners, cliffside roadways. You're going to do a coach and you suffer from any kind of vertigo or anything like that. Don't recommend doing that. Just do the train, do the mini train. It's great. I'm telling you, that's what I would do. It's definitely the train. I had one of the sales directors for Star Clippers has done this particular itinerary twice, and I was on the phone with her for 2 hours last week, and so she's giving me all of these tips, and you know, naturally she wants to sell the tours as well. It's just, the train is awesome, and she loves it. But anyway, Sartène is the oldest and most Corsican village. You get to see that, and a history buff too. And then we're going up to Alghero. Alghero is known for, now you're in Sardinia, you're back in Italy. Alghero is known for its food. Sardinia is known for its food. One of Anthony Bourdain's most favorite places. Doesn't have anything to do with why it's because his wife is from Sardinia, so that might have something to do with it. But anyway, And also Sardinia is one of the first identified blue zones of the longest living human beings on the planet, longest lifespan on the planet. The only other location on the planet that has longer living human beings is Osaka. Is it Osaka?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah, Japan, anyway. So it's a healthy lifestyle, it's fresh food, it's fresh fish, everything's from the sea. It's fantastic. And here, the scenic drive to do, if anything has local tastings in it, I would say hop on, get on that, that's great. Anytime you get a chance to taste some of the local fare. And that's 3 hours and €62. And you're there for quite a while, so you could do that and enjoy walking around the port. And then Poitiers and Ajaccio is the beach days. The morning, there's some great snorkeling. It is a little bit chilly still this time of year. The water is still only about 60 feet average. It's a little chilly, exactly. So at the beach, there are wetsuit rentals. And when you get on board, you'll also have snorkel, fins, and masks assigned to you if you want. Sign them out, keep them in your cabin for the entire time. And so here, it's really just to relax. Some people just stay on the ship and enjoy the deck, and they're here for about 4 hours. And then they head up to Ajaccio, which is the birthplace of Napoleon. And this is the Birth of an Empire walking tour is super recommended because it is just so rich in history that actually changed the face of the earth and actually our new world. So that's 2.5 hours, and it's good to walk around and just see. You see so much more when you're walking versus on a coach or something. And they're beautiful.
Are there actually 2 stops there?
There's several. Okay, so what I'm going to say about the shore excursions, I'm not listing them all here. I'm not going through all of them.
But the port calls, the ship.
Oh. No, it anchors two different places. Yeah, exactly. It picks up anchor. And the short excursions are not yet published for 2022, but these are based on previous itineraries. And they'll be offering short excursions as well. But yes, the ship does lift up anchor and move. And then Calvi, Corsica, is one of the most French quaint towns known for the open air produce markets. The local honey is liquid gold there. They have over 30 biodiverse climates on this particular island. So the honey is, it goes into depth, and just like wines, fine wines and honey tastings. Definitely a pride for the Corsicans in this area. The San Antonio and Pina Authentic Corsican Village by coach is the highly recommended one for those who want to do a coach tour. That's 3 hours. And then for those who like to immerse more in nature, there's a nature walk for 3 hours there. Again, there are going to be other tours available. I'm not talking about the Zodiac tours and stuff like that. There's going to be water sports. You can take kayaks, you can take stand-up paddle boards, you can do.
What does that get published as far as the?
I'm expecting it by October. We have a copy, Brad and I have a copy of the previous one, just so that they can change.
Okay.
Because basically, everything's changed in this past year when it comes to certain things, yeah.
This fall sometime you'll have it published, you'll be pretty accurate as far as what's available.
Once they publish it, it will be according to your particular sailing May 14th to the 21st. Exactly. Now, you can't sign up for these in advance, you can only sign up for them on board. We'll talk more about that once on board. So then we go over to Santa Margarita. Santa Margarita, it could be a dock, depending on the ferries and the water. If the water's rough, they're going to stay in an anchor. If they can pull in and dock, they will be able to do that. They will dock in Santa Margarita. walking distance to an awesome port town. This is the Italian Riviera, Liguria, south of Genoa, north of the Cinque Terre. A lot of people have heard of that. It's too far to go down to the Cinque Terre. It's just too far. This peninsula is adjacent to, it has on it, of course, Portofino, as well as San Frutuoso Abbey, which I'll talk a little bit about. And then it's a lot of shops and a lot of water sports here as well. But it's a yachter's haven. And the day trip to heaven by the local ferry with a guide is the one I would recommend. Because that's going to stop in Portofino, you're going to get off the local ferry, and then the ferries run like a bus system, depending on the weather and the conditions. And then they'll go over to see, there's an abbey in San Frutuoso that's only accessible by foot or by ferry. There's no car traffic there, it's just an amazing place. We do a little restaurant there, one of my favorite dinners of all time is there. And so you can do the kayaking tour in Portofino Harbor here. You can do the trekking from San Frutuoso. Experienced hikers only. It's quite a trek. There's a movie with, I forget his name, Colin Firth, I think so. Anyway, Summer in Genoa, and he takes his family. They stay here and they take his family to the abbey. So that was a great way to see that area. It's kind of sad film, but it's pretty. Oops, sorry, it's short. It's not okay. I can wait. So Santa Margarita, Portofino. The thing about here I want to talk a little bit about is we leave Santa Margarita and Portofino at 6 p.m. Okay, so what's cool about this is one day on every itinerary with any of the Star Clipper ships is they do what they call a sail safari, photo safari, where you get in the tenders. And you get in the tenders and you are traveling next to the ship as you hoist the sails. So you get these fantastic images because you never see the ship under full sail while you're on it. You see it this way, but you see it from the tender. It's fantastic. And so the backdrop on your itinerary is going to be Portofino. Pretty awesome. Anyway, on that. So then when we leave Santa Margarita, we go to Monaco, and we're here from like 10 in the morning till 11 at night. So as I mentioned, Poitiers port is a smaller port, just to the west of downtown Monaco here. Visit on your own. You can stroll the Lido. Some of you have been to Monaco. I think the toughest something. Sally's not there, right? Nini's been, yeah, so you know. We recommend stopping in with the legendary Café de Paris at the Boston Casino, and then of course all the architecture. This city is amazing to just visit on your own. The Ocean Institute, the Marine Museum, that's worldwide famous. If you want to do a guided tour of the Monaco fairy tale by coach and by foot, this is the one that's recommended. Of course, that traces the steps. So the wedding, most famous wedding of the century, Rainier and Grace Kelly. And then it goes through the gardens and the palace apartments. There's still a lot of walking on that. There's also a helicopter flight over the French Riviera. And it's just spectacular for those who want to get up in the air. And
So how do we get invited to one of those super yachts for lunch?
I'm just hoping you guys would come up with that answer.
I'll wash the bottom.
There are
We'll
some.
follow you.
Yachts. Oh my goodness, there really are.
What if there's a reciprocal?
Yeah.
Oh.
Monaco.
Yeah. Okay, is that like, it's like a sister city? A sister yacht?
Yes.
So you're gonna take it.
Yeah.
Can you write my letter?
Oh, yeah.
You got my number?
Front.
I love that idea. Let's definitely contact them. And any of these locations too, you'll be able to, if you want to rent a boat. if time permits, you can take your own smaller boat out. The ship itself does have those little small lasers, boy, I hate to. I tipped. But anyway, so yeah, here is a good place to connect for sure. And then, oops, what happened? Oh, and then we end in Cannes. In Cannes, we end at 8 in the morning, okay? So we arrive we probably arrive around 6 in the morning, and we start to disembark between 8 and 10 a.m. It is by tender, so your luggage is gonna go on a tender, and you're gonna go on a tender. And then there's a small a port area where you'll either A, take your transfer to the airports, or B, take your transfer to the hotel and stay our suggested 2-night post extension here in Cannes. There's a couple of options besides the scenic transfer, besides the regular airport transfer, depending on your departure flight. If you're flying out of the French Riviera, you're flying out of Nice. Nice is about an hour, it's about an hour drive. So they recommend the scenic airport transfer with the visit to St. Paul de Vence, or follow your nose and do the Paris and Grasse as well. Again, flight times permitting. Otherwise, I would suggest staying in Cannes.
How far away is Paris from Capitis?
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half probably, because I think that's on the other side, Nice, right? Yeah.
It's okay, 1 hour.
Yeah.
We try to figure out if they have hotels that it's all full.
Right, that's how I work. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I'm thinking Caparat. Capatis is only 30 minutes. It's only 30 minutes.
Oh,
Saint-Paul
Yes.
Antibes, the Picasso Museum.
Yeah.
Yes. It's very close. It's very close. 30 minutes max with traffic.
Do you have a hotel there?
So this is what we're doing. That brings us to the next slide. What is the next slide? Let's see. Pre and post stays. Okay. So I work with a company here located in the United States, Fantastica Italia, does France as well as Spain and Italy. I've been working with her for 12 years, Maria Laura, she is the owner. We are going to put together and we're going to get quotes from various hotels that we've been working with over the past several years. We need to know where everybody's at. We're still waiting for 2022 rates to come out. We're going to request group space. So right now, Star Clippers doesn't have a pre and post hotel that you can book. If you want to just add your hotel through Star Clippers, they use like the Radisson Blue or a Westin or a Sheraton or something like that. I even think they have a Westin and Celsius in Rome. We're going to try and find, what's that?
No, I'm sorry.
Now, we're going to try and find something that's not crazy. I mean, the prices are crazy right now for those who are looking to book hotels. So we're going to go to the places that we've worked with for the past 10 years. And like, we've got a group and we want some decent fares in the one block, maybe 10 to 15 rooms, and see how we can go from there. And we're going to put a quote together. And hopefully we'll have that next week. So we'll do one for the first 3 nights in Rome. And again, we usually stay at the De Molini or the Borgognoni or the Barocco. I would do a ton of Rome. So they're 4-star hotels, they're not big chains, they're walk out the door, you are in the heart of the historical center. And here we do, I recommend 3 nights. And then we include the full day of Amalfi with a 2-hour visit to Pompeii. Because basically you're still on the time change and everything. It's a great way to spend the day. And then the rest of the time on your own, except for we've got a late afternoon, a food tour for the private guide. And that's just stay there.
How do we get a copy of this free quote?
It's right here. It's just this is the first time we're releasing it
Well,
right
you know
now.
what, I left my phone in my car.
Oh, no, we're recording it and I'll send it out. I'm gonna send it out to everybody that's
This
going.
whole, this Zoom presentation, on Zoom, it's gonna be recorded, is being recorded. It'll be on the website, on our Yacht Club website,
Okay,
and the presentation itself, Tina's presentation, will also be on the website.
whatever.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, great, thanks. So the 3 pre-nights and the post 2 nights. So it makes a perfect vacation if you just do it all together and it's seamless, because the way it works in Rome, everybody comes in different flights. So we arrange private transfers per couple, basically, per person. So not everybody has to wait for a new transfer. They're all in the airport for the coach. We have private drivers that pick you up. It's not that expensive, because we do a lot with them. So on the day of arrival, it's your private transfer, meaning your private flight, well, your specific flight. And then the rest, the 2 other tours, the food tour, which I'm recommending, and Maria Lauer is recommending as well. And then we know we have interest in the Amalfi Coast with the 2-hour home visit. Then you have time to go to the Vatican, you have time to visit the Colosseum, you've got time to visit the Forum, install the evento, or whatever you want to do there. And we can make some more suggestions as well. And then May 15th, we'll do a coach transfer from the hotel to the ship, because everybody's going to the same place at the same time. And this is how we're going to get more advantageous pricing. It's to make, we just put it together that way. Same with Cannes. It's a short transfer from the ship to the hotel, because the hotel's going to either be the rest of the Poitiers, something right in the heart on near the Rodeo Drive of France, I would call it. Anyways, great Lido, great promenade area. So we'll do a group transfer, because everybody's starting from the ship at the same time to the hotel. And then we'll do 2 nights, and then only include 1 coach tour on that one. It's just 2 nights, 1 full day, but not the first day, all day. And that goes to, we have to decide, we can't fit Antibes, St. Paul de Vence, and Grasse, so it either needs to be, I'm thinking Antibes and St. Paul de Vence. But there's more of a demand for Grasse, so we put that together. And then on May 23rd, again, everybody's going to have different flights. They're going to fly on American, Delta, United, Lufthansa, whatever. So you're going to have a private transfer from the hotel to the airport, and you won't have to wait until the group transfer goes. So that's how we put it together. So it's kind of custom for this group. And hopefully I'll have some pricing in the hotels by next week. Again, it's just all now being created. So we'll talk more about that. I keep doing that. I don't know what I'm doing here. Getting the off button. So that brings us to the FAQs. I did? Okay. Oh, thank you. I'm like, wait a minute, that was fast. Flight and travel protection. This is, everybody does things differently. Some use miles. So if you are using miles, and this is a go, just grab your flights. Book with your miles desk or whatever, get them. You know what you want to do. If you can go in early, come home, stay a little bit longer in South France, and grab those flights when you can. If you want specific airlines, I've got clients already that want only that, London to San Diego flight. So they're going to do Nice, London, London, San Diego. Clear customs in San Diego. That's what they want. They don't want JFK. They don't want Atlanta. So we're going to get them now booked because they want specific times and specific flights. So book them now. I have an air desk at Avant-Garde Travel, and you still work through me, but the quotes and the ticketing is all managed by Elizabeth, and she's stellar. She's an expert at handling schedule changes and everything else that goes on with airline reservations these days, and that's our air desk. In order for Elizabeth to manage our reservations, it's $100 per ticket. It's $125, but because we have a group, she got $100. It's not a big discount, but if you you probably know how much things have changed in this past year and continue to change. And it's even in the news. American Airlines is like, people at the airport for all of the airlines, Southwest, they don't have enough pilots, there's just things going on, strikes, this and that. So she's on it and 24/7, it's fantastic. And then our travel protection, a lot of you, we have half, or at least half already, we met our quota in order to qualify. Travel protection is a special Allianz group policy, it's flat pricing, it's not age-based. Because if you price out insurances, they keep jacking it up. And insurance in general has gone way up this year, it's gone way up. So we've got a really good rate. And I just based it on a $5,000 per person trip. You can increase that amount. You know, if you end up with the pre and post and it goes over with the airfare, you can increase that amount as needed. Change the dates. But right now, based on a flat 5,000 per person, is $326 per person for California residents. And again, that can be adjusted as needed. A couple of things without going into great detail with the insurance is you must be medical fit for travel at the time of enrollment. Okay. So once we're in penalty or you've already bought your flights and everything, and then God forbid something unforeseen happens, you can only enroll in insurance if you're medically fit to travel at that time. So that's one reason not to put it off. You're not covered until you purchase a policy. There's another reason not to put it off. And then the other reason, if you purchase within 14 days of your original deposit, it gives you additional coverages, mainly covered supplier coverage. If the supplier who is Star Clippers goes into financial default, then if you purchased at deposit, then you would be covered for that. We don't anticipate that happening at all. A very small line. They don't overbuild mega ships. They are sold out for a lot of trips over the next 6 years. So I don't think anything's going to happen on that. We're waiting. We're already booking in 2023. So, well, before I go on there, was there any questions on that? A lot of information. I'm kind of going through it fast. But you know how everybody knows how to reach you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Your travel agent with your company charges $100 to do only the air, or do they do hotels and other places?
The $100 ticket fee is a ticket fee for the air.
Okay.
For anything else, there's no fees. It's whatever the cost is for the pre and post extension.
Tickets round trip.
Yeah. Do you want to stay?
No.
Wanna come home?
The
Yeah, I'm saying.
per reservation, per round trip ticket per person. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And there's a lot to do with the flights now, especially the premium economies. There's a couple of different options on Delta, then Comfort Plus, and the premium. It's just a lot to, and then they all have different fare rules. Some are non-refundable, some have change fees, some don't have change fees. The important thing is to know all that before you click the purchase button, meaning tell me you want to buy it. This is, or you can just go online and do it directly with the airline, and I'm happy to help. Anybody wants to do that, save the $100. I am very happy to help with that. And just know if anything happens with that ticket, I have no access to it. When we take it up, it's our own agency owned reservation, and we have a lot more clout, if you will, to go in and ask for, any special circumstances. Yeah, flights in itself are a big task when it comes to travel. Yeah, they can be. They don't need to be, but they certainly need it that way. In my opinion. So these are just a couple of the frequently asked questions that we had. Wi-Fi on board, yes. They told me it was like 16 or 18 euro. And I remember that being for a short period, but she said it was for 24 hours. I don't know. John, do you remember?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It was high.
Yeah.
It was high. Okay, so what you do, and there's tricks around this, because it's satellite, it's non-cellular, you go on, you download your emails and then you turn it off. And you use that hour, or whatever they give you for,
You're in port every day.
and you're in for
Go
it.
to the internet cafe.
Exactly, that's the only thing, yeah, hopefully, and then it's really slow, unless you go to the library, that's probably the best spot on the ship to get. Because if you're depending, if you're having to work or anything like that, like you said, wait till you get in port, and you're in port every day, go to the internet cafes. Free with a cup of cappuccino. What's the electricity, we talked about it, it's 220 volts, the European plugs. Round plugs, 2 round prongs.
And why you buy the transfer or change the electricity on the boat? Because burn everything like a brush.
It has to be on, yes, yes. It's important that you have
If it's black, what kind of black?
the European round plugs. Standard European.
And if you buy that transfer, they will give you.
They're everywhere. On Amazon. So there's 2 things. There's a plug converter, which turns your 2 flat prongs in the United States 110 into the 2 round prongs that fit in the wall. Doesn't convert the voltage though, so if you have something that
Yeah,
won't
because
take
if I sit like this now, and cannot use it here. I have one, but because I don't know how.
yeah, I can make sure you get it. Send you some.
Take a picture.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. The other thing is if you have a device that doesn't convert, all of our cell phones auto convert to handle up to 240 volts. Our computers auto convert. Any traveling, you don't need a generator, they're in the cabin. Some people want to bring in a curling iron. Be careful with those, make sure they can auto convert. That's all. If they don't, make sure you have a voltage converter, not just a plug. CPAP is another one. Exactly. Yeah.
They don't have it.
They have them.
No, the ship doesn't have any that they get to.
Yes, they should have them. Yeah, you're gonna get them?
Not to change.
Oh, yeah, no. The ship did have them when I was on it, both times, so people that didn't have them. And then I can, like I said, I can send you.
Just have some extras.
Yeah, they're really, Amazon, you can buy a 6-pack for $7. Can a deposited booking be transferred to another? And I left another what? Open. Your deposited booking can be transferred to another cruise. If you can't go on this for some reason, you want to go at a later time, yes, you can transfer. This all has to be done for final payment before you get into penalties. Can it be transferred to another person? If you can't go, you change the name on reservation. Yes, before January, okay, before we get into penalty.
Miles should go,
We're on a case by case basis and just take whatever we need to do and make sure things.
period.
But that's just.
I had assumed, Evelyn.
Can alcohol be brought on board? Yes. You just
Guess I miscounted.
They hold it for you.
I do not need to fly.
No, okay. Yeah, obviously. And that being said, the alcohol.
Or I can pay extra
It's very.
if Ashley can get me.
And then the drink special every day at the tropical bar, that's like €5-7. Sometimes do the drink special. Bottles of wine started per bottle. Very nice. And it's a French-based company. We're gonna have some good wine. It's gonna be hard to get American beer on board, but maybe stuff like that. But when you're good ones, the dress code is casual. Men for dinner, they prefer long pants. Okay. But no jacket, no tie, no formal night. It is casual. Are the ships under sail power all the time? No, they motor when they need to in order to stay on schedule. And then do the guests help with the sails? There are photo opportunities where the guests can go. Climb the ridge. I do want to mention that they're not computerized. They are motorized, obviously, they're power winches. But nothing's computerized. Everything is handled by the crew. And the crew is all highly trained and square rigging. So it is. Special meals, please get with me, make sure I know if you have any special requirements, special requests, special meals. Are there a lot of stairs? Yes, especially when you get up to the top and you forgot your camera, you forgot your sunscreen, you forgot your sunglasses. But they're not long stairs between your short flights, but there's no elevators on board. And then a lot of the doors that get outside, you gotta step over, because they're, in case there's no seats.
Did you say there were elevators on board?
No elevators, no elevators on board. No, and even when you go on to get on the embarkation, depending on the time, depending on how steep the ramp's gonna be to get on board, so. And then the transfer to get to the ship to the tender is also a ramp. And then that's moving, but there's staff there that helps you get to and from the tender to the ship. One of the places might be a wet landing, which means that the tenders just.
You come to show us how it's done.
And you jump
Exclamation
off
point.
the bow, jump. There's a stairway up the bow to get down to the beach. And so those are wet landings where you just drive. No wheels come out and they don't drive up on the beach like a duck boat or anything. So there's a lot of stairs. It is.
Actually should.
As long as, some people go and, mobile as most of the average passengers, but they spend time on the ship. And as long as they can get into the dinners in town, the restaurant is three levels. So there's a lot of ways to get onto the different restaurants, and then you can have options for meals over at the piano bar, etc. And the languages spoken on board is French, German, and English. You will hear all of the announcements in French, in German, and in English. Okay, good time to practice your skills. Most of the excursions, the short excursions, are in English. So we're at an advantage. I think they do English first for all of the announcements. It's funny how some of them are just really short and then others are really, really long. The one was just saying, yes. So with that said, I'll leave that open for any additional questions. What's the, oh, I probably should have put this, let me just go through this screen really quick. This is important. This is the footer menu of the Star Clippers website, okay? At the very bottom, go to starclippers.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, okay? This is where you're going to access everything you need to access. And I need your help because this group is getting big. I need your help to go to my cruise, the very first one in my circled little location there. It's not like, those other large ships. It's a very simple profile. Has anybody gone there yet? Okay, is it simple?
Yes.
It's very simple. A booking number, last name, and then you go in and you fix or you add your emergency contacts, your passport information, make sure I have your names right according to your passports. The only thing you can't change on that is your first and last name. You have to tell me what to fix on that, and we'll get that fixed.
So is feed the cruise number? I don't have.
Yeah, so I'll show you on the what do you call it, the reservation. Everybody gets like a 7-page reservation form. And then there's a reservation number on everybody's copy of the confirmation. So I'll send it to you.
I have a question. My passport reads one name, my first name, and I go by my nickname. Do I give my passport name?
Always passport. We're going in between countries and international, and everything has to match So when you get on board, the cruise line's gonna take your passports and hold them for the entire time. They're the ones responsible for clearing you in France and Italy back and forth. So they hold your passports the whole time. You get a key card that's going to get you on and off the ship. They know they're not going to leave port. They don't have everybody present and accounted for on board. I know, right? And then when you disembark in Cannes, then they give you the passport back. So it's important that your name matches your passport on your cruise reservation. Again, emergency contacts, address, and dates of birth, make sure I have all that correct. And I'll need your help to make sure I give you all that. Go in the direction. If you don't have a copy of this confirmation, I'll send it.
Everybody.
Yeah.
I've probably asked this, but credit cards, they take in all the ports, all the places they go, it's a rate restriction and not taking
It's a very good question. So-
American Express, Visa.
I would recommend, so, all right, Star Clippers recommends traveler's checks in the local currency. Ignore that. Nobody does traveler's checks. I recommend Visa, MasterCard is most widely accepted, okay? And I do recommend having, some euros, cash euros for yourself.
You also might want to make sure your bank.
Bank has itinerary.
Okay,
Also make sure that you don't get charged international fees. There should be no credit card out there unless they're giving you bonus points up. Should be charging for an international transaction fee more. That was a big.
So Gina, when are we gonna get our reservation number?
Oh, I'll send it to you. And it's on the attachment on the confirmation I sent when you book.
Okay, I don't remember getting a copy.
Okay, I'll send it to you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Yeah. And then, the thing is, when you're booking, you get a lot from me. It's just crazy. While we're on that too, the next line in my circle is welcome aboard information. That's where they tell you about the traveler's checks. Ignore that, read the rest of it. All good information. The brochure link is their newest brochure, and it's online e-brochure. It's really, they did a nice job for that. And then the shore excursion is also there, but that doesn't have the main 2022 yet. It does have the Rome de Cannes in September, but that's only 4 nights. So that only has 3 of the ports that we're going to. But you can take a peek at those. And then that to me is those are important. Just so you know, your confirmation is like 7 pages. I can't change that. It comes from Monaco, it comes from Miami. But basically your name, your address, your reservation information, your pricing. Page 2 is usually your payment.
Oh, 385.
Are on here, okay? Your itineraries, page 3. If you don't have it, I'll resend it, no problem.
Do you want me to send the email in mind?
You
Do not have it.
don't have it either?
No,
Okay. Yeah, it's a PDF attachment. Yeah, just please send me an email and I'll send it out to you because I have them all on file.
What's your email?
And it's gina@wheretoworld.com and I'll show you that in just a second. But anyway, let me finish this. So then you have your itineraries, page 3, cancellation penalties. And then this is the French or from Monaco. You have a wine list if you'd like to order some wine on their original initial confirmation. But anyway. I can't take it off. And then the last 2 pages or 1 page, depending on whether you're single or double, is your personal information. You want to go through that in the passenger information, and that's where you go on My Cruise, enter your booking number and your last name, and make sure that all is properly. And you don't have to do anything on here. You don't have to send me the hard paper. When you do it on My Cruise, it automatically.
What's up with that?
This is done. And then the next one.
Mark?
that make sense? And then that's it. That's the, just please send me a copy requesting that. And then what do I have got? Oh, our contact information. So Brad, they're your host on board. Is that okay? Can I be? Yeah, I think it's. Yes. And then I'm Jean Ruggiero, the coordinator, and my company is Retro World. I'm affiliated with our travel in San Diego here. And then my mobile phone is a Phoenix number, but I am right here. And my email is gina@wheretoworld.com. And I'm embarrassed, I didn't bring that business. I'm out of practice. So with that said, is there any other questions? A lot more information. Only really small chunks.
You know, why don't you talk, how many cabins are left? The reason I'm asking the question is if you have any friends who want to promote, go on this trip. Yacht club, please do so.
But doesn't have rules, just in the bottom, a lot of stuff.
We'll let Gina speak to the remaining cabins. There are remaining cabins. Yes.
What are
I
non-members
want
of
to
the
go
yacht
to
club?
the,
I'm sorry?
Does that apply to non-members of the yacht club?
No.
No.
It applies to members of the yacht. Okay.
So I just got this in, this is live from like an hour ago from Miami. We have 6 category 3s left.
oh, really?
Some are on the,
That.
some are on the Clipper deck, some are on the Commodore deck. The
The
one,
Commodore is still in the back, just to swings in the back.
no, I can go over the itinerary with you. When I make a reservation for somebody, I ask number 1, is a smaller cabin midship with a fixed double bed acceptable for you? Because those are the best locations left, but they're about 20 square feet smaller right now because they've got cutaways for accommodate the mast and things. And they have a fixed double bed that doesn't convert to 2 twin beds. So we still have a couple of those. Those are cat 3s and cat 4s because of the size and the restrictions. Still like 120, 125 square feet. So we have only 6 category 3s. My 3s that I have left, I have 2 in the front, the bow of the ship. Those are smaller with fixed doubles, and on the Clipper
You
deck.
have with the deck?
No, no. I see. No, there's no deluxe cabins. No deluxe cabins. There's no room suite.
Level down.
Yeah.
And if you can,
So
How do we find out what we are, what category we're in?
it's on your confirmation that I'm going to send to you. I have it here. We can talk afterwards. Actually, I have it with me. Bringing up a good point is a wait list.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
We are.
the chances of getting a deluxe cabin on this sailing are slim to none. Okay. That said, I do have the people who book earliest, and I have the booking dates and the deposit dates. It does go by who gave the money first, gets first right of refusal if something does open up. That said, we just recently had a category 2 open up, and I went on to see who was in a cat 4 and asked them if they wanted to upgrade, and they did, and they took it. And so, that worked out well. So things do move a little bit, but the deluxe cabins with the balconies, private balconies, don't really open up. So, but let me know if there's specific, I want something more midship if it comes available.
Oh, just want a little steps.
Yeah, I can move you up a deck.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you're gonna be in a smaller cabin. That's what we talked about. Do you want the bigger cabin, the 145 square feet, or do you want the smaller? Yeah, I'll go over that afterwards with you, what's available.
Let me just clarify a question that Steve asked about, is this open to non-yacht club members? Obviously, the ship is open to non-yacht club members. We are promoting it first to the cruising in the yacht club, and then open to yacht club members. And that's who we're working with with Gina on that. So my intention is to try and get as many yacht club members as possible to go on this trip because we don't know each other. All that. So, but if you have friends who are not members of the yacht club, I'm not saying you can't tell them, you know, they should go, but you know, just speaking of promotion, we have first promoted it within the cruising group by email, and then we promoted it to the yacht club by way of the weekly Friday e-blasts. Been in 2 of those weekly e-blasts, and 4 of you have booked with Gina as a result of that. It'll be in 2. It'll be in 2 more weekly e-blasts tomorrow and next week to the club, obviously. So we're getting some traffic, if you will, from the club, which is fine. And the intention is to get as many San Diego Yacht Club members on this ship as possible, because I think it's great for the club. Great for us. That's
And that said, anybody who books within this group allotment gets the $150 per person onboard credit as a bonus, as well as gratuities included. So you've got prepaid gratuities and up to $300 per cabin onboard credit as a benefit being part of the cruising fleet group. So we have that. So we have 6 category 3s left, and not just us, the entire ship. 6 category 3s left and 11 category 4s. And I don't book category 5 and 6. So this is the kind of experience you want to go in category 5 or 6. They're inside, there's no window, they're bunk beds.
Are we required to have European medical insurance on this trip?
So travel protection covers you for,
It does.
yes, covers for medical emergency evacuation, as well as baggage delay, cancellation, trip delays. Yeah, it's a,
Will I still get stamps even though my passport's being held?
Oh, yeah.
no, because you're in the Schengen, you don't use your passports in between Schengen countries.
I
So
know.
Italy yeah. Those days of this.
I have one.
I think we
It'd
can
be
buy
nice to have
them.
more.
I think we can buy them. Buy a little stamp and then lick it. I've been to a couple countries where they were the old licking stamps. So-
Or they put it in the airport.
They do it for the kids, just follow the kids.
Okay.
So, but no, that's great. Are there any other questions right now? I think we covered a lot, so.
If I can go up 5 flights without feeling like I'm totally out of breath, will that be sufficient training?
You're better than most of us.
Well, I had to train.
Okay, I like that idea, training. I like that idea, training.
Never.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
First
the
you chose that.
medical things to fill out, the medical insurance.
That was also sent with your confirmation, which I'll send.
Right.
Yeah, so if you don't have it, I'll send it again. Yeah.
Gina, Mark here on Zoom.
Set up the confirmation, was it individual, whether it was husband or
Yeah,
wife?
yeah, one per cabin. Mhm,
One per cabin, so
mhm.
Not one for my wife and one for.
Nope, one per cabin.
so Gina, I'll substitute emails for you.
Yeah, and it's no problem. I have everything and I can easily send it out again. I usually check that it's been sent out, but when you're booking, there's so many things to think about. And there's this click online form for the card and everything like that. But if you don't have the insurance, some people, the insurance is non-refundable after you purchase it, after 14 days free look. And so some people are waiting because they're, they're 90% sure they're gonna go or whatever, and they know the risk in waiting. But once you purchase the insurance and in the unfortunate event you can't travel, the insurance is non-refundable, but that insurance can be used for another trip, up to 2 years. Okay, so that's what we've been doing for a lot of people who couldn't go previously.
Relative to luggage, is there any special kind of, I've seen people that have on-wheel backpacks that are quite large. So is that in the
So somebody,
Smaller is the best.
yeah, somebody else, because they want to go for a month or two, they wanted to bring a couple of large suitcases, and there's no luggage storage on the ship. Whatever you bring has to fit in your cabin, number one. And
Would you get help bringing that?
yes,
Porter
yeah, the
will bring
porters
that
are there.
to your room.
Sure,
Right.
but I was just wondering in terms of easy transport, if we're getting off on little water taxis and stuff, it makes sense to have the luggage be easily.
They help, they do it, not you. They
A
do
good
it.
policy is everything you have in your suitcase has to be worn at least twice with another outfit.
I like
3
it.
times or 4 times, and you want the 4 if you can, and all you do is travel like this, and when we go, they
Change
say,
the
where's
scarf.
your luggage? There.
Love it. Change the scarf. Fit like 5 different color scarves for the women.
So I have all of this experience here. What kind of
She must have
shoes
fixed my
should I bring?
Sensible. Sensible
There's
shoes.
double fine too.
Yeah, and just bear in mind, your international airline ticket will allow usually 1 check or 2 check, depending on the airline, and depending on the class of service you booked, and then 1 carry-on. So usually 1 check and 1 carry-on is what everybody brings. And that's basically what the rooms are in the cabins can accommodate. The berths are a little bit high, you can put stuff underneath. You know, you can tell them to take out the life preservers and there's sufficient room for just 1 check bag and 1 carry-on per passenger.
Is it worth the hassle of bringing a camera? It's
Depends.
big, heavy, I mean, it's a Nikon, it's all digital, but it's a significant camera. It's not like-
Yes.
Absolutely, if you are, if you
Well, otherwise,
are,
there's, you know, iPhone.
which are, iPhone and Androids are incredibly
I use that.
awesome.
But still bring my own camera.
Not necessarily, there's only.
Just wanted her to know.
Postcards,
My
postcards are great.
My carry-on.
They take better pictures than I do.
That's funny, I like it.
Are you gonna bring the flag? Or-
Yes.
Good.
Oh, somebody's got
Been inside my house.
You got a big one.
I might do.
Yeah, no heels, no platform shoes. These are,
Yeah, this is the best.
Gina, what is basically what I wear.
What is the temperature we're looking at?
So you're running at high 60s to low 70s.
Okay.
Layers. Don't bring any heavy outfits and sweaters. It's just still out on the water. And you know, you're in a marine climate the entire time. So inland is not unlike here. You're going to get into some desert areas. You're on the coast the whole time. You're on the water the whole time. Evenings are chilly, but it's really fun to be up on deck. Champagne is a really good warmer too. The pools are all filled with seawater. They're not heated. So please know there's 3 pools on board. There is laundry facilities on board, laundry service. Now, you can't do it yourself. Laundry service on the word as well. So if you want to bring just, you know, 2 or 3 outfits and just be done with it. So, but yeah, definitely. And then during the day, beach attire is fine, shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops. So in the evening and the dinners, they want something a little bit. And they do, you know, 1 captain's dinner. So the only thing that I worry about is, like I said, photos. It's day 3 and it's the same shirt you had on day 1. And it's like,
I know.
that's
Buildings will be.
it's an issue thing. Anyway, it's like 1 long day. Yeah. But they have a sloop shop on board and it has some really nice stuff. So I've got a bag. I got a really nice shirt I had last time.
Jimmy, did you speak to like the daytime, approximate daytime?
We just said,
Oh,
yeah, we
I'm
just said
sorry.
it's gonna be between high 60s and low 70s.
Oh,
Yeah, so I'd say 70 is an average. Yeah. Water temperature is probably gonna be around like, you know, high 60s. And again, for anybody who wants to go do some swimming, you know, they have wetsuit rentals, which it's an incredible snorkeling, incredible coral reefs, fish life, the marine life. And the folklore or whatever, you know, Ulysses sailed here. You're going to hear about that. You're going to hear about Medusa's blood that colored the corals in the brilliant red coral. Everybody's gonna want a piece of red coral before they leave. And stuff like that. It's really, you can get out on the water and get closer to the water, because that's the lifeblood of these islands, is the water. So,
You know, if it's easy to get a train from Monaco, I want to go back to Italy and spend some time there.
yes,
Okay.
very
It'd
easy.
be easy to get to.
See, yes, we can help you with that, for sure. No problem. Nice too, depending on where you're going, but that's no problem. I've done that train trip myself a few times.
But Gina, you're gonna send out these pre and post excursion details.
Yeah, like I said, we're just brainstorming right now on this, and that's what we came up with.
So that's the next action item.
Right. So we've got to put some bids in. We know the hotels we're reaching out to. If you've seen the news, there's staffing issues everywhere with hotels. There's,
Yesterday night, I tried to figure out the hotel captain tips. I could.
yes, for May 21st, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you want
The
to,
28th, I looked for.
it's also the Grand Prix.
Oh, I see.
That's the Grand Prix sailing. So the Grand Prix trials are the 21st to the 28th for Monaco. And so that whole area.
Yeah, the captain is full.
So whoever has a buddy with a yacht, a super yacht, I think that's gonna be.
I don't think they have, the chief doesn't have home venue that he's probably stay there.
Yeah.
Really nice, because the Rio has some place that can stay.
Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna request 10 to 15 rooms. And see where we can go, see what we can get for rates, bids. We let them know that we're talking to several hotels, but we've got our 3 or 4 favorite. And for us, the key is location. You're not there with a car, you're there, you want to be able to walk out of your hotel room and be in the heart of it, where you want to be, not have to take a hotel shuttle. Because you'll notice, like, if you go out of town a little bit, Marriott's and the Sheridan's out on the loops and stuff like that, those have availability, and then you gotta take care of it getting to town and stuff. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, thank you. And we'll make sure that everybody has their confirmation, and please go on my cruise or reach out to me and say you're interested. What did you say?
I have a strange question, Gina.
Yeah.
Do you go on the cruise with us?
So that is still to be determined.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I say yes.
It's a popular trip, and so, yeah, it's a popular trip. But I'm blocking the time.
This is your.
Nice to meet you.
See you, honey. Tell Jim I said, hi. I'm glad you could come. We'll talk, whatever you need.
Just.
Great. Right. Okay.
Right. So I'm telling you. So you we can move it all. And then the smaller towns. I don't have the largest towns.
This is much better.
Central Waterfall?
Yes.
Yeah, it depends on what.
Which ones?
We wanted to see the times of the show.
Okay,
excursions.
yeah.
Just so.
This is gonna be on the website, but you know you wanna take a picture. That's fine.
Right there.
Right there.
Oopsie, there it is. See, right, right on the water. When you're trying to make.
Absolutely.
Lunch or dinner reservations.
Exactly.
Hotel Splendida. Oh, my God. Splendida.
Are you gonna make reservations?
No, but I'm just trying to see if we're there in time for you, or long enough for lunch.
Right. I think they probably, so you do this, and when you're You're on board.
From where?
Oh, yes, it's-
Sure.
And same.
Yeah, yeah. It's a split. Yeah. Good.
But the flights are not straight.
Thank you. Glad you gotta come. Talk it up amongst your friends.
Do you have any other advice since you've been?
Good, good. From my perspective, the North America.
It used to be the other American is magnified by 10 if they're Russian.
So we do, based on.
Now, loud and ugly.
I'm gonna make a note on that.
We try not to be that way.
Oh, no, we're not that. We don't.
We dropped the New York yacht club on that one.
We could.
But I don't understand the
Are you a member of the New York Times?
Yeah.
So, I'm not making a good point. You know, we have the Monaco Yacht Club, and
It's up on the hill.
I don't,
Oh,
I've
it's
never been.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any other yacht clubs on this tour? you think? Oh, yeah.
I bet most of these places have yacht clubs, but they
Okay.
aren't necessarily big.
Sure, but still.
They have a bar
Bar would be
and a
wonderful.
meeting place.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
went around on one trip to around Spain and Portugal and picked up tumblers for our bar.
Sure.
So we're talking about where you've been while you're having a bar.
Yeah. Yeah, and it'd be nice just to have some pictures and the main sheet, then when we come back.
Especially with emergency.
Exactly. Exactly.
Greece and then Rome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And you know all your neighbors.
But yeah, so you're on.
Okay.
Because we first know it's a single category. That's how we started. You call me anytime. Thanks,
Would somebody want to spend is there, should we ask like if there's something better and stuff like that? I kind of like the idea that from.
This is actually a great location.
Yeah, and you said like literally this is all.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's all really good. I can tell you, to 204. Christy, where did Christy go? Christy's next door, across the way. Which one's the Cowens? Right here. Yeah. So the Cowens are near you, the Perkins are near you, the Abrams are near you.
Okay. Yeah, well, we will.
Yeah, they're all there. Okay, so we've got a group, so we've got a group up here, we've got a group back here.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is category.
Yeah. So the green is green.
Oh, I see. Okay. And then in terms of like stairs up and down, like the dining area, is this a desirable deck?
Yeah, absolutely. It usually it's the highest you can get to.
Okay.
This is the main, looking on it, just the main.
Okay.
So your purchase office is here. That's where you do, any shopping here. Everything's here.
Yeah.
Okay, another silly question. But I'm just curious, I'm curious %. You said how many passengers on the crew is?
Yeah, it is 100 and.
So it's about one crew per two passengers.
Not like a typical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a rip.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I'm snagging somebody on mine.
yeah, that's, I didn't print that off.
Oh, no, we didn't. All right, I'm gonna start getting, well, I'm taking one each for the end. Oh, my.
Yeah, everything, let's see. Palestinian. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna be neighbors.
We're gonna be neighbors.
Gina, I'm gonna email you, so I.
206.
Some of us are swimmers.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cold, I heard.
It'll be okay, we'll probably. Pretty good.
All right, you're telling me.
Go,
girl.
Suck it in, right? Yeah, right. Some of the restaurants pop in. So they're so cute. So in and out of water, like a sunshine. We can just duck over it.
And then, I will email you.
So what's your
So
first
I can
name?
get the confirmation as well, instead of just the, and then my name's, since it's a passport issue, my name's gonna be a little different.
Okay.
I'm
Jill.
And
We
then-
have, yeah. Really? Oh, really?
Thank you. Nice to know you.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you know, we have 10 months to do this.
Thank you for the
Right.
Exactly. Am I bringing my niece with me, which is really
Yeah.
exciting.
Do
you know her?
And I send insurance.
Okay.
So,
So do we have a box?
Yeah.
Right.
She takes care of the other things too. They all have chips. Right, let's hope so. Yeah.
And then you will, we'll still send this to you as well. We're not a spouse.
Right, that's why we didn't have.
Oh, that we got.
You did? Oh, good. Oh, good. One.
Oh, I see.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh, Jill, that's wonderful though.
Thank you.
Michelle, you know Michelle, right? She's having trouble with her wanting to go.
Presentation.
I'm sure we're gonna do another one.
Yeah, oh, there you go. I like that.
We've got a cocktail party on there just for us.
Yeah.
We have a dinner table, I have dinner in the back dining room, private.
Yeah, we're.
So we got some stuff. There's only so much.
We're too open.
We try to just cover the entire.
Well, and also, I mean, we might could learn about it, so that'll be kind of fun to get over. Oh, we got this for you, just this phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a sailor?
I'm the idea of seeing.
Yeah, so, me too, I missed it too. I missed the feeling, I don't know, you know, it's all that.
All right.
Voting.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't think she's a business card. I think the business card. I have a.
You are?
We know this.
You had what? Yeah, sailing around the world for 5 years.
Thank you. Thank you.
You were 3? Yeah, we didn't either. That's our connection. Okay, so Dana, this is Jill.
Thank you. Very excited, yes.
Yay!
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've met, I'm Brad.
You introduced
Dana.
yourself in the beginning,
Dana.
Dana Husky, yes.
Everything.
Linda, very nice to meet you. Yes, I hope to be a member here of the club in about the next 3 months. So all my membership stuff's in. And I've been a guest for going on 17 years. I'm sick of being a guest.
Finally, right? Yeah.
Okay,
So,
because I
yeah.
think this arrow is too. Three.
I mean, you know, if it doesn't happen.
Oh, it'll happen.
Yes, we know.
I can't believe
Awesome.
No black.
Who are your sponsors?
The,
One.
Sarah Holt, Sarah Howell Holt.
Anything I sent out because
No,
you had to
it's okay.
promise
And then what, my 6 references.
What, 8?
Yeah.
8 altogether,
Let's see,
yeah.
who are-
Then you
who
have
I
to
got?
make sure
I had
that-
to do Danny North, right? 'Cause, you know,
This is just for us.
Danny knows everybody.
Oh, Danny
Danny,
North, yeah. I saw
Because
Come on,
that came
Dana.
down.
I can't remember.
And then.
Anyway.
that's a
No, I want to do this. They're all very important people. Janet Murphy,
Oh, she's great. We know her.
Al
I
Reichenbach,
have it down sent.
You don't know with Whistler?
Chris Ball, Gary Adler,
You don't need to know.
and Vince Delpidio, who was one of my pilots when I was a flight surgeon, and then I ended up delivering a baby because I'm an OBGYN.
It's bigger. No, this is
So exciting.
So those are my people.
Because we could.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a doctor with us, that's good. don't you think?
Oh, good.
Yes, yes. I'll bring my kid. I deliver all your babies.
Oh, yeah.
I can do other stuff too.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you asked about meeting with us. We have also asked.
Yeah, whatever you need, just kind of plug away on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Everybody likes to do something. Questions arise there.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So how are you doing with your swimming? What did Christina say? Did she encourage you?
She did, oh, she did, yes, I'm good, every week is good. Practicing in this, but we were anchored in Coronado Cave in the weekend, and so I was in the water for so hours.
Right,
Just
so,
being in the water.
yeah.
I have had this
Strap flights.
fear of
And
the
then
water.
fill it in.
But you're over it, right?
Over it.
Oh,
Yeah.
good for you.
Linda, you look so relaxed when I see you in the pool.
Yeah,
Good for
it's been
you.
wonderful. I was